welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wellness.
Welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. We're almost 8 years we've been sharing what you need to know, want to know about real estate, finance, so much more, and guiding you to personal and financial wellness. So we make sure that we bring you some value that no matter how it affects you personally or financially. And today we're talking to you investors. You investors that have been more investment going on in the housing market in the last 6 to 7 years than we have seen in decades. So a lot of you have got, I was so excited. I jumped in and I bought all these properties. I bought 3 condos, 2 houses, apartment units, and now it's become a headache. And unfortunately, you may be thinking, I'm just going to dump them when we're still in a hot housing market, and they're going to still appreciate. Maybe you're going to lose a lot of money because you don't have Secure Pay One, my landlord helper.
That's right.
So we brought on 2 experts that are national experts in it, even helped write the book with their teammate, Linda Liberatore, who's been on our show before, about the landlord secrets and how to handle your properties. And basically we brought on Megan and Siobhan. Right? Siobhan, right? Making sure I say that right. Today to basically go over the details of why they started what they do. And we'll start off with Secure Pay One, my landlord helper. Where did that come from?
Linda started the company and thought she was just going to be debiting accounts, using her ACH tool she had set up with the bank, debiting these people, never hearing from them, calling it a day. And her first client asked her, could you please take the phone calls? So at that point, she was new, she was green, she was like, yeah, of course I'll take the phone calls. Next thing you knew, she was getting calls about dead 3-legged cats, tenants can't pay their rent, right, tenants can't pay the rent, and that's how My Landlord Helper started. So we assist owners and clients in managing their properties. We're not full service, we're a unique service based on what your needs are. And we assist landlords hate their lives a little less.
So tell us a little bit about that. What does not full service mean? What does full service mean? What a la carte services as a landlord can I say, I want this, but I don't want that, and I don't need this, or do I not even know what exists? There's things that I may not know that exist that you guys do.
So being full service, we do not full service. We do almost everything except for we do have the ability of being nationwide. So we're not on site at these properties. We don't do the leasing. So basically a landlord would come to us with their tenant already in place, and then we would take over all communications from there. We do partner with some companies that help you find a tenant. If one of our landlords needs help, we certainly help with that. Okay. And then we don't pay the bills. So as Gino was saying prior, he likes to use his plumber. He doesn't want to get ripped off. He wants to make sure he's using somebody that he trusts, especially if, it's somebody that we manage in another state. So they have somebody they trust. They give us their contact information. We facilitate all communications. But once the invoice, for a maintenance repair is complete, we would send it to the owner for payment. We're not paying those bills.
Okay, so that's actually how I operate. I don't know if that's how you operate, but I actually pay my own bills. I pay my own mortgage, I pay my own taxes, I pay
that.
Every once in a while, like if they send out a plumber or something, I'll say, hey, just take it from the rent, because there's plenty there to do that. But overall, I manage, I would say 90% of my bills.
Yeah, I would say that have you guys found that most owners want that control still over those?
A lot of owners, especially when they're growing their portfolio, they're not going to go retire on a beach, drink a margarita, and never think about their properties again. They want to be involved. They want to be acquiring more properties. Right. And that's one of the benefits of our company too, is they have more time to go to the auction. They have more time to acquire more properties and grow that portfolio instead of worrying about a leak in one of their units' basements. Mm-hmm. So they want that control.
And that's a good point, because exactly that. If you own one and you're like, wow, that's a headache, why would I go and get more? But you guys taking care of that for them, that's a big piece. We're like, oh, this is not any, no big deal. I'll go get more. And you're actually helping them invest in their future.
Yep.
Right. So because we're not full service, we're not charging that 10% of the rent. We charge a fixed rate so that they're able to still take a little bit of the headache away, but also save some money so that they're able to continue to grow.
So what is
we're
that?
kind
Is that fixed rate a percentage, or is that fixed rate a flat fee?
No, it's a flat fee. I'm sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Okay, so it's a flat fee nationwide. And what
Yes,
does that
correct.
what does that look like monthly per unit?
It's $75 per unit per month.
Okay, so that doesn't matter. Does it matter if it's a single family or if it's an apartment or if it's a condo? Does any of that matter?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Wow. Now, I'm going to say for all of you out there that have even one property, especially if multiple properties, how can
It's
you
your
not
Starbucks
spend,
budget?
That's what I'm saying.
Just
for
do it.
$75 a month to have that handled for you and get you out of it personally. That's the biggest thing. I'm telling you, once you're personally invested with the tenants, you can't get out, and then you're just going to be drugged down that rabbit hole.
I know you've heard a million of these stories, but I'm going to help you by giving you live testimonials of how bad it is to be a landlord. So my personal assistant in this business was my wife. That was really fantastic. Hey, did you collect the rent? No, I had to take the kids to school. Okay, but did anybody pay on time? I don't know. I haven't checked yet. Okay, well, we need to send out eviction notices. You send them out. So it's like, okay, so if you and your spouse are co-managing these properties together, and this sounds familiar to you, pick up the phone for $75, fix your life.
That's amazing. You know, before I forget, how can what's a good website for them to go and find more information about you guys? Because what's nice is you do this nationally. So, which is say maybe you just, you know, as an investor, just took over your mom's house in Connecticut, or your brother's like, I don't want to handle this, or you and your brother bought property in another state where he lives, but you don't want your brother handling everything. You wanted something that you can see online, right? So both you can manage it. How can they get a hold of you guys? Because I just want to make sure that they might be scrolling through this as we're talking.
Yeah. So they can call us, 847-431-3300. You can always email us. It's info@mylandlordhelper.com. So it's super quick, simple. They can go to our website. Would you say SecurePay1?
Yeah, securepay1.com. So it's the number one spelled out, but securepay1.com.
Okay.
And it has a bunch of testimonials, and from there's a spot where you can just fill in your information if you're interested in getting more information from us.
So what are the basic services that are included in that $75?
So once the tenant's in there, we obviously handle all maintenance. We're collecting all the payments. We're creating the legal notices. We are doing the lease renewal reminders. So we're following up with the tenants 90 days, 60 days, 30 days. We're reaching out to you to confirm you want an increase. We're sending all that information.
Yeah, now that's tricky.
See, you're the bad guys, not us.
Yeah, now that's
There's a 3% increase.
Very mean.
Our biggest motto is just that we're following the terms of the lease.
Right.
So nothing is personal because I'm legally obligated to follow whatever is in that lease.
right. And you guys didn't create the lease, right?
No.
Right. So you just follow the lease.
Yeah, our landlords typically provide that, or we help them work with a lawyer to figure out the best one for them. We've seen so many being nationwide that we can help advise on what they need in there and what are best practices.
Right.
And you stay up to speed. Like I'm in Los Angeles, and we've got rent control. And rent control can be super tricky. The new laws, the updates. Now you got to do this. Now you got to do that. This year it's only 3% raise. Next year it's 4% raise. You guys do that for all the cities that you stay in? You guys stay up to speed on that? Keep a spreadsheet of like what you can do in every state or city?
Yep.
Wow.
So we have
There's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work for sure.
Well, I mean, it's really refreshing that there's a resource like you lovely ladies, and like you said, and you can go on the website at securepay1.com.
Spelled out. One.
Oh, it is spelled out.
O-N-E.
Okay, it is spelled out. Correcting that. Okay, securepay1.com, so they can see the testimonials, which are huge, and meet you lovely ladies and know that it's being handled nationally, because I know it definitely changes my mindset. Because Gino and I talked about, we invest together. We have a company that we invest in properties together, and to have somebody handle that mean now I'm more open to, let's go look at Arizona, let's go look at Texas, or we'll go look at another state.
And I've always been resistant to that because I'm like, just the logistics of that is difficult.
Right.
And worst case scenario, I always had the security blanket that our property's close by. But when's the last time I went to a property?
I don't think one of them's my own house, and I don't even go look at it. Everybody's like, how is it? And I'm like, I don't know. They handle it all. I don't. It's great.
How many times? How many times did
years.
you go to our Woodland Hills property? Ever?
Once.
Once. I think he's like, yeah, it's nice. Bye.
How good is that?
That was it.
A year ago. It's wonderful, and it's gone up, $50,000 in the last year. So yay.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
No.
So look, obviously we've determined we're huge fans of property management. We think it's a great idea. We think anybody that's self-managing right now should definitely talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
So by phone, 847-431-3300. You can go to our website, securepay1.com, the number 1 spelled out, or you can email us at info@mylandlordhelper.com.
And also, you guys, is your book online that they can pull up, or how can they get the book? Because what's nice is Linda, I know, wrote a book, or I don't know, did you guys help with the book, or you guys all work together? Is that something, Linda?
Landlord Secrets, we all worked on together.
I mean, that's awesome to have little landlord secrets. I remember flipping through the book last time we had Linda on, and it was great. Little stuff you're like, oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, that's something to think about. Because as a new landlord, you usually learn the hard way. Unfortunately, you're like, oh, if I would have known that, I would have set up this. I would have talked about this, and you guys know the little idiosyncrasies. We give analogies. We love that because we speak what we do. And one of the things, like perfect example, is I have solar on my place, so the bill comes to me, the Edison bill, which is small, but it also anything over and above the solar gets tacked on at the end of the year. Well, luckily. We put in a clause.
This was thanks to your property manager. She was like, hey, you might want to consider this.
Yeah, because I was like, it was only $900 over the overall rent for the year. And they're like, yeah, but what if they go nuts on the property? You guys, I went to your house. It's always 100 degrees at your house. You guys never turn on the AC. We're in California, and it's 116 here. I'm like, ooh, that's right. Maybe they just put it to 72 and leave it. And they're like, so we put a clause in there that it maxes it at $1,500. Anything above that they pay for. And I showed them 2 years worth of bills, saying, hey, we're not being crazy. It was $900, and then they ran it up $5,000 over.
Crazy.
They have, because the mom lives there, the daughter lives there. It's a big house, 3,600 square foot house, and they just crank it to 72 all day long. That would have cost me an extra $3,500 on my property. I would have lost basically $300 a month on my rent.
It's called evaporating profit.
So these are the things that, you think it costs you money to have your assistance, to have a property management company, but it costs you a lot more than not. That I can attest to.
So on that note, let's take a quick break and we'll talk about some more of the values that it brings and how else you can benefit from having them.
All right. So again, we're here with Siobhan and Megan with Secure Pay One, my landlord helper, talking to you investors on how you should be handling your properties when we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show.